calling the internet police.
Welcome to the Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife with ramblings, tips, tricks, and goings-on in WoW. Here's your host, Chris Case.
Hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 23 of the Game Case. I am Chris, also known as Cuddles, a Brewmaster monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild. This week I'm going to run down my week in WoW, touch on some of the changes going on in the World First team, and talk to a great member of the WoW community about one of the newest WoW podcasts. So first and foremost, I'd like to take a moment and introduce my wonderful guest tonight. He is one of the worst bear tanks in World of Warcraft. He smells funny, and even his mother agrees that he has a voice made for silent films. Mr. Moodala, welcome to the show, Moo.
How's it going? Thanks for having me here.
Oh, I'm so glad you can make it. For those of you that would not know this, because how would you? If you do, you're creepy. I asked Moo at the very last second to be on this show. Like, literally about an hour and a half ago, he got the message. He graciously agreed to come on. So, Moo, big thank you to you. My first question to you this week, sir, is what have you been up to this week in WoW?
Well, this week has mainly been my garrisons, just getting the money out of those missions and working on some alts. That way I can keep staying ahead of my co-host on my podcast, or Sangus, on his item levels. But all of my raids were kind of canceled for the holiday weekend. So
Thank you for joining the Game Case.
Hold on one second, Moo. I'm having technical difficulties.
We all get it.
Oh, that's awesome.
The Game Case. Well, anyone that plays for more news, tips.
All right, there we go. That was fun. I switched scenes and it played all the things. It was great.
Well, okay. So, do I need to repeat myself then?
Yes, why don't we do just that? Moo, what have you been up to this wonderful week in World of Warcraft for the very first time that I'm asking this question?
Well, once again, for the first time, for the last time, I've been mainly doing garrisons missions, just getting the gold out of those, working on gearing alts. I didn't do a whole lot of raiding. This was a holiday weekend, so most of my raid teams were off. I did have one raid team that went Friday, Saturdays. We did some. We went back, did high mall for some people that were still working on rings and stuff. So pretty easy week.
Nice. Now, are these you have folks that are still trying to get up to the ring quest? Or are you actually getting tomes out of high mall? Like, I really don't know this.
No. They've definitely locked the raids, to what they're supposed to get. So high mall only does the abrogator stones. BRF only does the runes, and the HFC does the tomes. So these guys are either had switched to a different character and are trying to build them up, or this is actually the first time raiding. This team's still even recruiting people even now, just trying to get people into that raiding scene, giving them an easy place to go to for it.
Oh, wow. So you mentioned you guys are still recruiting.
Yes. That team is called We Pull It All. It is a CTR team that runs Fridays and Saturday evenings at, let me do the conversions here, 6 p.m. So, yeah, 6 p.m. server. So we run 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. We run till we don't run.
Nice. Now, where are you guys progression wise? Are you running mythics? Are you doing normals?
No, they're still on normals.
Okay.
Like I said, this is a team where it's a lot of beginning raiders. Most of their experience has been LFR. Wow. So we're jumping in and getting that going for them.
Nice. Nice. Well, and if anybody is looking for a team, make sure you check out Moo's team. Who's raid leading it?
That's Ed Willow. He's one of our greeters.
Yeah,
Uh,
right on. He is a very very fun person.
he is.
How is he as a raid leader? I gotta call you out on this one. Is he like a really aggro raid leader? Is he fun? Has he yelled at anyone yet?
No, he hasn't really yelled at anyone. Like everyone else, he's learning. I'm trying to give, pointers and whispers and everything, trying not to step on toes. So trying to this is his team, so I'm trying to let him lead it.
Nice, because you've raid leaded in the past, right?
Yes, and actually, I am still raid leading now. I finally broke down, and I made my wife a deal. If she would finish getting her warlock to 100, because that's one she kept saying she wanted to raid with, that I would finally make a team and lead it. Because I'd gotten so burnt out on that in Siege of Orgrimmar, because I was on about 5 different teams, leading at least 3 of them.
Wow.
So I was done with the leading thing, but she kept procrastinating, didn't want to do it. So I finally conned her into it by telling her, I will build a team and start it just for you. So.
Aw, well, isn't that sweet?
So that team is running on Saturdays at, again, let me do the conversions here, 9 a.m. Saturday morning. We run for 3 hours, and it's just a 1-day-a-week thing. And we are actually recruiting for that as well. Recruiting DPS, ranged, melee, doesn't matter. We need hero, though. We need somebody with hero. So if anybody's interested, hit me up for that, too.
No, is that a CTR team as well, or is that outside?
That is also a CTR team. It's called the Jaded Core.
Oh, nice. Nice. I think I've heard of all these teams. Possibly on your podcast.
Probably.
So, you sound like you've had quite the fun week in WoW, even with a little bit of off rating time. You definitely got a little bit more in than I did this week. I got back late Monday from vacation. I was in Southern California for 10 days. Had an absolute blast. I did get to raid while I was there. I raided Tuesday night with Rubber Chicken Coalition. And then I did a Sunday morning with Bacon and Kegs. So a little bit of dedication, raiding. I actually woke up, it was 5 a.m. Pacific for the Sunday morning raid. So, hey, what did you do on your vacation? Well, I woke up at 5 a.m. to play World of Warcraft because I'm one of the cool kids. But
yeah,
we had
the point that someone says you need to seek help.
Well, we had a whole lot of fun. We got with that Sunday morning, we got Sothercar down with Bacon and Kegs. So it was great. We got progression. I may or may not have skipped Saturday because it was clear day. Don't tell anyone I said that. That happened. But I joined it on Sunday, had a blast. Got to do kind of the same thing with Rubber Chickens. We do one night a week. So what we've decided now at this point with kind of High Mall, with Hellfire being so stretched out with 13 bosses, we're doing one Tuesday we clear, one Tuesday we extend our lockout and go in and do progression. Although evidently this week was progression, I didn't get to join them, but they got all the way up through Sothercar in one night in just a couple hours, which
nice
is amazing. Especially getting past Fat Bastard. I don't know about you, but I was not loving the Gore Fiend at all.
Come on, it's not bad. You're still tanking, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
the only thing I know how to do, man. I tried healing, and it was not pretty. I didn't know which buttons to press. I was like, I'll press this one over here. Nope, I didn't do it.
They're raid wide cooldown.
Yeah. Well, it has numbers on it. That's supposed to do things, right?
Yeah. That's the way it works.
Yeah, I actually had a fairly horrible attempt at trying out for a mythic team on my healer. I was actually in a hotel on a laptop, hotel Wi-Fi, laptop, like horrible connection. Didn't even know I was raiding. Got a message from somebody like 5 minutes before going, "Hey man, are you ready for your trial? You ready for your trial, man?" I'm like, "I'm in a hotel. I just have my laptop and like nothing set up. I don't have my, fancy mouse with 83 buttons, but sure. I'll come and do 14k heals and feel bad about it." But anyway, that was my weekend. WoW. Rating wise, Garrison Chores, of course, got to run some old content. Had a blast with that. Of course, got every piece of transmog gear that wasn't my, that wasn't leather. I had some absolutely cool plate pieces that were, of course, bind on pickup, and I can't send them to my
That's
to my DK. Isn't it though? You go into old content, and I know like I'm the positive, upbeat podcast guy, but gosh darn it, the transmog stuff, everything that isn't leather looks so great when I'm on my Panda, but then I get on my DK, and everything that isn't plate looks great, and it's fun.
That's not transmog much.
I got to, because I don't know, the what are we, tier 18 now?
Something like that, yeah.
All the last the High Mall BRF Hellfire stuff, I just haven't been digging it for the monk. It's not doing it for me. I have some weird sort of head wrap on now that like gives me a little glowy thing in front of my forehead. Like it's not cool, and it's one of my set pieces. And, well, yeah, you're bear, so no transmog. You're just bear.
The expansion is going to change that a little bit.
Oh, I know, right? That's gonna be really cool. Now you'll be shiny bear.
Yeah.
So that seems to be our weeks in Worldcraft. I do words on the radio.
Words
you
are
should
hard.
listen. So why don't we dive in to a little bit of the Worldcraft news that's been coming out. And the biggest news this week has kind of been breaking today. And that's a little bit coming out about some of the world first teams. There's a great article over on Mana Flask. I'll post a link here in the chat. This will also be in the show notes. But as of a little bit earlier today, I think it was early this morning, I started seeing rumors and whispers about folks leaving Method. And for a little while, it wasn't really confirmed. Then you started seeing some links to Battle.net, to a new guild called Serenity. And what appears to have happened is a lot of Method's players have actually left Method. Now, this comes about a week after SCO, and forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. I've never heard anybody say it out loud. So that's what it sounds like in my headspace. I apologize, SCO, as though you listen to my show, if I'm saying your name wrong. But SCO, who was the manager and one of the leading people at Method, had actually quit his job a week ago to manage Method full-time. And if you weren't aware, Method was the world first team this tier in Hellfire. Did a great job with it. But they've been doing a few different things. They've been kind of branching out into different stuff. They now have a CSGO team. There's a Hearthstone Method team. They're definitely building themselves up to be more of a brand and more of kind of a gaming community rather than just a WoW PvE guild. And there's a lot of rumors being bandied about that I won't fully give air to. I have spoke to at least one of the new members of Serenity, and this does not come directly from anyone at Serenity or from Method, but some of the speculation in the community is maybe money issues, maybe the desire to not go into all these different avenues, feeling like it's not being paid attention to, like the PvE aspect of it. and maybe just kind of a personality conflict with Sko. Now, that again is entirely speculation. Some of the official stuff that has come out, Sko came out. There's a really long post on Facebook. I will link that here in the chat and, of course, in the show notes. I will not bother you with reading all of it. But basically, he touches on a few bullet points. He's saying that World of Warcraft is in a decline. It's a two-horse race and people aren't interested. People are motivated to play at different levels. And, of course, money is always involved. So he actually does touch on the money thing. Lack of leaderships and different views on the method expansion inside and outside of WoW. If you're interested in that, there's a lot more to Sko's statement. And that link is in the chat. There was also a update from Kuznum, who we heard a whole lot about when the world first kill happened. It was Kuznum's mom that was having a birthday that night. It was their very last pull because Kuznum was going to have to go to his mother's 50th birthday, which even World's First Raiders don't miss stuff like that. So it was their very last pull when they got Archie down. He says that the two main reasons were lack of leadership and different opinions on the direction of the WoW PvE guild and the organization of method. So, it's anybody's guess. Basically, there's going to be a couple different things happening. Method is going to continue on. Serenity is going to be a new PvE progression guild. And also Midwinter's main tank Sloot, Mr. Slootbag of Twitch fame, has decided to join Serenity. So that's a really big pickup for them. He had said that he was thinking about starting his own guild or joining another U.S. guild. Let's be honest here, there's no U.S. guilds that are being competitive in the world's first race at this point. So if that is at all a goal, you're probably not joining one, or you're starting one from the ground up. He mentions that he had no interest at all in that. So he's going back to his EU roots and joining up with Serenity. So, kind of cool stuff going on there. Moo, what's your thoughts on the whole situation? Do you think maybe Serenity's going to make a run at it? Do you think Method will be able to hang on just with their name to recruit some people? What do you think World First Tier 19 is going to look like?
It's going to be completely different. We're going to see a lot of teams we haven't seen before pop up, fill this void. As for being able to hold on, I don't think Method's going to be able to recruit enough to be able to continue where they have been, because that takes some time to build up. They may be able to pull it off, but they'll still be in the high end, but I don't see them being in the race anymore. Serenity, we only have a few names, so that's still up in the air. But it might be able to pull it off as well. We'll just have to wait and see at this point.
So you seem to be cautiously kind of wait and see about it. So I'm guessing you're not going to hop on the bandwagon of, boom, Paragon got world first, it's over, Tier 19's done, Paragon won.
No, because, everybody has a bad day. That's the best way I could put it. So it's entirely possible that someone else can come up out of nowhere because there's this opening now, and that's all she wrote. Now we have this new name, and they're just taking over everything. So it's definitely going to be a wait and see for me.
Right on. I hate seeing Sloot leaving Midwinter, and I hate saying that. I know the words just came out of my mouth, but I hate saying that there isn't a competitive U.S. guild out there. I don't know what is in the water across the pond.
Well, I don't have all the details of how things work, but just work over there, I think, is a little different. Vacation time gets run a little different. Yep. A lot of companies are running different hours. I know there's a couple that I know, talking to some of my friends that are, on that side of the pond, they're running 10 fours. So 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, still getting 40 hours, but that gives them a 3-day weekend every week.
Wow.
So there's variability to scheduling over there that's not available here in most companies.
Oh, definitely. And I believe that if I'm remembering this correctly, like the average for a U.S. worker is 2, maybe 3 weeks of vacation. I'm on basically like a C level at my job, so I came in with vacation and what was at the time a competitive vacation program. I get just under 3 weeks, and I think the average in the UK is about 4 weeks, with some jobs giving you even up to 6. So just being able to take that time off work and not, I don't want to say wasting, because, running to world first is definitely not a waste of time if that's what you're into.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
spending 2 weeks of vacation raiding 60 hours a week is a little bit different than spending it as I just did, drinking Mai Tais on the beach in Southern California.
Well, not only that, but you got to look at having multiple tiers and expansion too. So now you're having to spend those 2 weeks, raiding this one, and then you got to wait a little bit, and then you're gonna have to take another vacation doing this next raid, and that all starts taking a toll after a while. Even without burning vacation time or whatever, just stress, you know, that's gonna work on you too.
Oh, definitely. Doing anything at that level has got to just be rough, and that's what I love. I mean, Sko even had it in his Facebook post that WoW high end rating is on the decline.
Oh, and it really is too, because if you look back, when I started paying attention to the race, ICC was coming out. 'Cause I was just getting, just into rating in that expansion, so I hadn't really paid attention to any of that stuff. But yeah, there were all kinds of guys, and it was one of those nail biters. Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? And this last tier is like, well, it's either gonna be this one or it's gonna be this one. You know, not much excitement. I mean, hey, great on them for getting it, but there wasn't that same excitement for even for those of us that weren't there. So
Definitely, definitely. So, I think we have officially covered the world first news. The one other piece of news that I haven't talked about since my podcast has been on, and we won't bury this one into the ground, but flying is out. You can,
yeah.
yay! I can't. Did you get the achievement already? Are you
Oh yeah.
flying?
Oh, absolutely. I've had the achievement done for as soon as they announced it, I finished it off.
I feel horrible. I haven't done it yet.
Oh man, you don't know what you're missing.
See, here's my plan. I'm gonna find somebody nice with the 2-person mount, and I'm gonna let them fly me around to get all the treasures. Because
I'm
that's
not.
about the only thing that I'm missing.
No, I'm sure we can work something out. But yeah, it's we kind of cover this in our show just for briefly, but uh, they did a really good job with the maps in terms of planning for flying because even from above, everything looks amazing. Just those vistas that you get, trees everywhere in some areas, just the open plains in others. It looks really, really good. But yeah, it definitely makes things a whole lot easier. I don't know if you still have alts you want to level or anything, but
Yeah.
leveling alts is super, super easy with flying because all you really got to do, throw on some heirlooms, Dark Moon Fair's in town, go get that Wii buff, fly around, pick up your treasures, stop at those little bonus objectives on each of the maps, boom. That's a bunch of experience right there.
That actually does sound nice as far as alt leveling, because that's one of the big things with me coming in Draenor. I have 2 100s right now. I definitely don't want to go into Legion with just 2 100s.
I've got 11.
This is when somebody pulls you aside, sir, and tells you have a problem.
Oh, no, 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 not yet. In just a minute is when they tell me my lowest geared my lowest geared character is now a 675.
You have a problem.
I know. I need a life.
Are you rating on all of them, or just doing
Oh
LFR? Or?
no, no, not definitely not rating on all of them. I'll pop into LFR. I'll do a little bit here, a little bit there, but honestly, most of it is from Timeless Isle and Garrisons.
Nice.
I actually have two characters I have not stepped foot even in LFR. I haven't stepped foot in a single raid.
Wow. And they're over 675.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing of beauty.
It is. It's gonna make leveling, starting off anyway in the next expansion a lot easier.
Definitely. Definitely. That's what I had. I think my hunter. I have a hunter around like 97, 98. Or maybe I have him at 100. I don't know. It's been a while since I've logged in. Uh, at least to do alts. But I can remember one of my characters got up in the 90s. He got eligible for some of the not the baleful stuff, but the ones that you get from your garrisons. Anyway, he got that gear and he went from, I think it was like 580 to like 640, 660, like that, like just done. He totally changed.
Oh yeah,
and that was extremely helpful. I don't know what it's been like in the past, but that was incredibly helpful for an alt.
oh yeah. In the past, it's been you want to gear up. You're either visiting the auction house or you're going into raids. That's one of the reasons what got me into getting on 5 or more raid teams is because I wanted to gear my characters. That and I just raid.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope you enjoy raiding at least.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously there's limits, but most of those can be just pushed to the back and just push on. So.
Yep. Well, now as much as you wanted to come on here tonight and talk to me about SCO and Sloot Bag and everything that's been going on, I feel like there might be something else on your mind that you might want to talk a little bit about. And it's something, the reason that I asked you to come on here was to hear you kind of get up on a soapbox, maybe pontificate a little bit on the subject of the Battle-Rez Bears. What are the Battle-Rez Bears? What are you guys doing? What's going on? Break it down for me.
Well, Battle-Rez Bears is a podcast that I started with Ursangus, who is the head greeter in CTR. You may also know him as Bear Meat, which so basically what it is we're constantly seeing these raid teams form up, have problems, collapse, or hearing people say, "How do I get into a raid team?" or what should I do? How should I go about getting a raid team? Stuff like that. So, both of us have been raiding for several years. And we decided, well, why not put together something where we can give you, suggestions, tips, tricks on how to get into a raid, find a raid, prepare yourself for a raid, keep a raid, so we decided to even take that further since both of us have experience raid leading. Okay, so how are the different roles supposed to interact? Our plans are to cover raid leading, how to be a good raid leader. What should you do? Should you focus on? Where should you divide your attention? We're even going to focus on how just to be a simple raid member, how to be a team member. What should you look at, do? And then we're also going to go the standard, break down, okay, this is, the tanking role in a raid. This is the kind of stuff that you have to look for, the stuff, that'll help you out. And we're going to plan on breaking all this down. And obviously, as we get questions and, come across stuff in our own raids, we'll probably bring those up and, try to cover and discuss those as well. So, but our basic thing is to bring make raid teams seem less scary, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, and that's definitely something. Being so new to the game and so new to just raiding. I mean, you guys, everybody says raiding like it's this thing that everybody understands and can grasp, and for me, it's 6 months ago. I was like, what's raiding? What do I do? Oh, I click over here and look, there's some other people, and We're going to go kill a boss together. And then I realized people get incredibly aggro and yell at you, and you get loot. And it's really cool.
Yeah. The key is to do it without having people yell at you.
Oh, that doesn't when you play like me.
Oh, I know. I've tanked with you, remember?
Yeah. It can be bad.
No, you're good.
I'm starting to figure out which buttons to press.
It's not the buttons. It's honestly, for tanking anyway, the biggest thing is position. Where are you located? Where's the boss located? Where is everyone else located? That is the number one thing that you have to worry about, because honestly, as long as you have your auras on the way you should and you're hitting the boss, they've pretty much fixed almost all the aggro issues that we used to have. I mean, back in Wrath, tanks used to essentially have to have their taunts in their rotations. And
oh wow.
Yeah, because the disconnect between tanks doing damage and the DPS doing damage was so great. There were, all the DPS would pull off. You had to, on a pull, you had 2 timers you go on. You had a timer going for the tank to run in, and then you had a timer for the DPS to start DPSing.
Oh my gosh,
that's
crazy.
It is. It was. And that's when that's when Kata came out, and that's when they introduced Vengeance to help eliminate that. But then the tank damage started going way, way out of control. and so then they tried to revamp it, and now we've got Resolve. Resolve is keeps our threat manageable without giving us that damage boost. But I mean, honestly, tank damage is still kind of ridiculous.
I don't feel that way at all.
Play a bear.
No. I was gonna say I can't actually hold taunt off of a similarly geared good bear right now. You get a good bear tank in against my panda. Maybe not all pandas, but my panda. Similarly geared, same item level. If he's good, he's probably going to be pulling taunt off of me.
It's not just you. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not complaining by any means. Not at all. But it's just one of the things about a bear. As long as I've been playing, up until recently, I've had a paladin that would tank with me. I mean, we tanked together for all through Kata, all through Mop, and he would outgear me, but he still couldn't keep threat off me. So it's all about playing how you play it, really.
Yeah, that's what Tub Stout here in the chat room said, that back in Wrath, they were playing a Warlock and would have to stop or slow DPS regularly, right? Pull aggro. So Mudala isn't crazy. Aggro DPS confirmed.
I am crazy, but but no, I mean, and now that he brought that up, yeah, Warlocks were, I'd have to say, the worst. We had a friend, it was constantly, all right, fail, back off, fail, back off. And he wouldn't want to, because, he was topping the charts. He was having a blast. Like, no.
You don't tell a DPS to stop? What are you, crazy?
So he got to the point where he'd have his blueberry hotkeyed. And this was back when pets would taunt bosses and stuff. He'd get aggro. He would soul shatter, pop his blueberry, and then run away. Say, take it back.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it added a whole new difficulty level when you have DPS that don't want to back off.
Oh wow. So now since you guys are going to be talking about raiding, I've already gotten this sense from you, but tell me a little bit about, like, how many years of raiding do you guys have? Have you both been raiding for a while? Are you both new to it?
No, we've been raiding for a while. Ursangus has been raiding since the beginning. As any player that's done this he's been playing since vanilla.
Ooh.
So,
how did you know? Did he tell you?
Oh yes. Oh
yeah,
yes.
They do that.
Yeah. Me, I've not been doing quite as long. I have been playing for about 7 years. I started in BC, hit cap right as Wrath launched, so I just kept rolling. and then got into raiding in Nax. And then I started off. Buddy that got me started, said, "Hey, here, play a hunter. They're easy to level. You don't really have to know anything. You just go out and shoot things. Your pet does all the work."
Nice.
Excuse me. And so, I did that, leveled it up, got into raiding. It's like, well, this is fun. This is, I stand here and shoot things. This is fun. So then all of a sudden my raid team needed a healer. So I was like, well, I've got a druid at 20, and that was the highest alt that any of us had. So I power leveled my druid up, and of course, leveling a druid, you have to level feral or a bear, but at the time they were the same spec. So I leveled at feral, and then as soon as I hit cap, now I switched to the rest. So I had no idea what I was doing. Like I just, oh, this button's lighting up. Let's do this. This looks good. But once I got into the groove of healing and figured out what I was actually supposed to do, I loved it. I enjoy. I didn't go back to DPS at all.
Wow.
So I healed through Nax. I healed through Ulduar. I healed through what was it? Ruby Sanctum? No, City. Which one was the first? Next one was Ruby Sanctum, I think.
I came in WAD.
But then I was healing in Trial of the Crusader, but then we lost our tank.
Oop.
So I was like, well, I can tank, just switch to bear, and then that's all she wrote. I still have a healer, and I still have a DPS. My hunter, my very first character, I still will level it and max it, and sometimes raid with it, but mostly it's just my tanks.
Right on. All right, I find it really interesting that everybody kind of settles into like their own little like niche. Like, you don't hear many people like, "Oh yeah, I tank for this team and I heal for this team," and then I think most people kind of have a DPS and run a DPS somewhere, or maybe they have a healer. But it's really cool how like everybody finds their own little play style. I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a game. You want to have fun. You're not going to have fun doing something that you don't like to do.
Hold on.
So,
we're supposed to have fun raiding?
Yeah,
I need to listen. I need to listen to your show.
Yes, you do, apparently. I mean, yes, raiding is the end game. Raiding is where it's at. Raiding is all you're supposed to do in WoW, PvPers. So,
shots fired.
But you're still supposed to have fun with it. And I kid, we talked about PvP a little bit on our show too. And I do like the world PvP sometimes, just not the non-consensual PvP.
Yeah, I cannot imagine. And by the way, I was totally kidding about not having fun raiding. If anybody has ever listened to my show, you know that I have a blast doing it, and I love my raid teams. Bacon and Cades, Rubber Chickens, y'all rock. But I cannot. People that say that like they level up on a PvP server, that blows my mind. Like, why? Like, well, I woke up this morning and instead of pulling my pants on, I took my balls and slammed them in the front door.
Honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, I was on, before I transferred to Airy Peak, I was on Emerald Dream. It's a RP PvP server, but the RP portion was never really enforced. But it was a big PvP server. The Alliance side, not so much. I mean, there would be some guilds that go out and do the ganking thing. But we had one Horde guild, Warsong Battalion. These guys would go out in full-out raid teams, just clearing zones, just annihilating everything. And that was what they did. That was all they did. So, it was definitely... But when they did that, though, it would cause a war. Because it would start off, okay, so you've got one little low level, and here comes these, max levels, whatever expansion was, just swooping in, wrecking them, and flying off. Also, what's he do? He calls his buddies. He calls his friends. He calls his guildmates. So here come, sometimes, depending on how good a guild you're in or whatever, 10, 15 people, max levels to try to help, push these guys away. Well, they've got 40 already here, so they wreck those guys. So they put the call out in the cities. Hey, we need help. And it brings on a war. And so they bring in more of their people, and just it becomes a massive thing. And that's when it becomes fun. It's just the whole getting started thing that, sitting there, you're trying to get something accomplished, and here comes, 690s or 68, whatever the expansion was, just, come over and two shot. You're like, really? I can't even do anything to you. What are you here for? So, but I'd have to say my favorite though would be the world PvP on a bear.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing, you will not die. Timeless Isle, when they introduced those things to get the bloody coins, there was a raid team out there just annihilating everybody because it was PvP service, your auto flag.
Okay.
So they were just annihilating everybody, and they just decided to pick me. Well, I didn't want to die, so I didn't die. Again, vengeance was still broken and everything. So there were times where I'd pop my cooldown, I'd hit close to 3 million health.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, they were even complaining in guild chat. It's like, this isn't a bear, this is a boss. So, those are the times that it's fun. Usually when you're losing, not so much fun.
Yeah, and that's me every time I've stepped in. I made the mistake of trying PvP during Children's Week for that little achievement.
Oh.
And gosh, thanks WoW for forcing a bunch of people that don't want to be in there with a bunch of people that don't want us to be there, and then show us.
Yeah, BGs they're broken. They're always one-sided, but I have noticed, because I do have, forgive me people, but I do have a horde character as well. And I know, but I've been into BGs on him, and those teams never win. The Alliance teams only win. So it's all your perspective. If you only play Alliance, yes, Horde will always win.
Yeah.
But if you only play Horde, Alliance will always win. How that works, I don't know.
See, that's my problem, is it doesn't know I don't have a Horde character. It's just the other team always wins. Never mind. May have something to do with me. I won't, come right out and say that, but there's a slim possibility. There's like some RNG involved.
Chance.
It's Blizzard hates pandas. It's, it's a thing. But no, PvP is one of those things that I really want to try. So you said that you touched a little bit on PvP, but you guys are going to be focusing on raiding for is it just going to be for the beginning raider, the intermediate raider? Is this literally for everyone that raids?
Yeah, that's what our plan is. Because honestly, there's always something you can learn. So it doesn't matter how experienced you are. It doesn't matter, how long you've been doing something. There's always something you can learn. So, I may do something one way. You may have never seen it that way, and you may like it and, decide to switch how you do things. You may listen to our show and say you're full of crap. I mean, it's all perspective. It's all, we're mainly focused towards the new and returning because, new expansions coming out. So there's going to be a lot of people coming back. We've already seen that, as a greeter in CTR, we've already seen that because, it seems like every day there's, several people saying, hey, I'm coming back to the game. Can I get back into the guild? So, and even individual guilds have, blossomed in numbers again. So, people are coming back. Some, have just taken a month or so off. Some that, I talked to one guy, he's been gone for 3 years. He decided because of Legion. So, I mean, so there's going to be something for everybody. And, we're focusing mainly on raiding, but a lot of the stuff that we're focusing on can actually be applied elsewhere also. Like we've covered communication, which doubles as coordination for a raid team. And that could go for a raid team. You can go for a BG team. It can even go outside of WoW. You can, any kind of games you play. FPS games where you got team, where you have team working together, you're going to need that communication. You're going to need coordination. So you just need to know how to do it. And best way we put to describe what we were talking about was when to speak up and when to shut up. Because you get a lot of that sometimes where people will keep talking, but you're trying to accomplish something, so you're having to talk over other people and things get missed. And so, got to point out, hey, this is a thing. Don't do this thing.
Yeah.
You know. And then on our last show, we covered situational awareness, which is, as a raider, is a big thing. As a PvPer, it's a big thing. Again, cross games, cross platforms, whatever. Situational awareness is a key factor in accomplishing your goals, and even in real life. So while we are focusing on raiding, it will cover other things as well.
Right on. Right on. You know, I can say I have listened to one episode of your show. Listened to episode 0. I apologize. Been on vacation, so I haven't listened to more. Do you have episode 1 up?
Yeah, episode 1 is up. So
okay. Episode 0 was awesome. I can't wait to listen to episode 1. You guys, like, you have a very good dynamic between each other. A lot of good information going out. It's something that I'm really looking forward to hearing a whole lot more out of the Battle-Rez Bears. When do you guys record? Are you doing anything live right now, or are you recording and then posting?
We're just recording and posting right now.
Okay.
We're still trying to, kind of get our feet into it, and also get a follower base, really, because don't really see a need to do a live show for nobody. So we want to get.
That's what I do every week.
Oh yeah, I see nobody talking to the chat room.
Hi, chat room.
Guys in the chat, you should thank.
Nobodies.
But so yeah, let me get you guys that link here. So that's that link I put in the chat. That's where we have our site hosted, but we're also on iTunes and Stitcher, so you'll be able to find us there too.
Go ahead and post that there one more time, Moo. I just gave you a moderator.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Twitch.
Yeah.
I have links disabled, and somehow it doesn't magically know when I want the link to be enabled. Like, come on.
See. There's that cable you're supposed to plug into the back of your head.
I don't understand why we're still at a point with technology where I have to tell the computer what I want it to do rather than it just knowing. Being in IT and working with computers every day, I don't know how many times I click on something, I'm like, no. I know I clicked on that, but that's not what I wanted you to do. Do the other thing. Oh.
It's getting there. But yeah, as for live streaming, we do have a plan to do live streaming, but it'll be a little bit further in the future. Currently, our recording is being done on Sundays, but that may change again when we decide to live stream it. And then I should have it edited and posted by Monday evenings.
No, the link that you posted, and guys, this will be in the show notes if you're listening on the download. It's going to be battlerezbears.podomatic.com. Are you guys are you anywhere else? Are you on the Stitchers or the iTunes?
Yes, we are. We are up on Stitcher and iTunes. So you can always search for us there. There's about I'd say probably about a 4-hour delay, it looks like, to get from our posting here to, getting it searchable on iTunes.
Right on. So, I think that's, you got anything else you want to tell me about Battle-Rez Bears?
Yeah, we just had to be careful with our name. 'Cause that could get, depending on how we, some of the names we threw around was stuff like Between Two Bears, and that started my wife giggling, so it made us think about, well, what other ways could that name be taken? So we decided on going this route, which is a little bit more WoW related.
Now, for the children that are listening, what he means is he didn't want to be mistaken for a Winnie the Pooh episode. For the adults that are listening, don't Google Between Two Bears at Work. Thank you.
Please no. I haven't done that
Oh,
myself, but I'm sure it's not good.
the chat room has suggested maybe as an alternate name, two bears, one cub.
Oh, well, would you be joining us then?
No, I don't want to be part of that Google search.
Are you sure?
Mm, now that we are totally off the rails. Oh,
Which I'm glad you brought that. We do go off the rails a little bit on our show, but we do make it back. So
it would not be a podcast if you did not jump off the well-paved path at least a few times every episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Evidently, pandas count as bears. I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Well, I'd go with the cub portion. I wouldn't go full bear though.
Whoa. Whoa. Don't insult my berryness, sir. I'm I'm not even gonna try to do bear puns. Let's skip on to the next section of show notes because this portion is going badly.
No, not at all.
Well, that is going to do it for this week. But before we go, Moo, where can people find you and the new show on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Moodala. That's MOO. I can't even spell my own name. MOODAHLA. You can find the show on Twitter also. That's at Battle-Rez Bears. That's Rez with a Z. And my co-host Ursangus, you can find him on Twitter. That's at Ursangus. URSANGUS. No, and you can email the show at battlerezbears@gmail.com. That's also Rez with a Z. So,
do you have an Instagram or a MySpace? Maybe a Friendster?
what?
Are you on Friendster? It's this thing that Google's doing. It died about 8 years ago. It was a joke. I'm not going to edit this out.
No,
Okay.
I'd never heard of that.
All right, moving this fail train right along. You got any shout-outs this week, Mill?
Shout out to my co-host Ursangus. He's rating right now, lucky bastard. And yeah, shout out to everybody that's listening to us because if you don't, nobody else will.
I like that. Well, I would like to do a couple shout outs, if I may. Well, it's my show, so you're not going to stop me. But big shout out to both Ursangus and Moodala for first and foremost, Moo, for coming on the show tonight. Very short notice. Definitely appreciate it. You've been an absolutely wonderful guest. Thank you so much,
My
sir.
pleasure.
And to both of you guys for finding something that you wanted to do and stepping out and doing it. Your podcast is wonderful. I highly recommend everybody go check it out. But these are two guys that wanted to do something, and I know there's a lot of WoW podcasts out there, but there's not that many that like start up all the time. A lot of shows have been around for a while. These are two quality guys that are chasing a dream, providing a service for the community, and I really respect both of you guys for that. Even more than the absolutely minuscule amount of respect that both of you had from me in the beginning, especially Ursangus. He's slept with me before. To clarify, we stayed in the same hotel room. We were both wearing kilts. Things got weird.
You're not helping yourself.
But I embraced that. I embraced that fully. It was a magical night. No, but you guys and your show is great. I cannot wait to see what's going to come in the future for Battle-Rez Bears. Also, big shout out to Bacon and Kegs. Guys, I will not be around this weekend. I haven't even told you this, so somebody's going to find out on the podcast because I'm probably going to forget to mention it in group me. I'm going to the beach and going surfing because California rocked, and now I'm surfing again. But I'll be back next week. Rubber Chickens, I'll be with you guys on Tuesday. Cannot wait. We got Zol coming up on both teams. So progression is looking great. Looking to move into heroics. You guys all rock out loud. Also, huge shout out to both Mick Montgomery from the Starting Zone and to Hawkeye from BlizzCon Countdown for meeting up with me when I was out in California. I got to go to a delicious little burger joint in downtown LA with Mick for lunch, and then had dinner with Hawkeye and his wonderful wife at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in beautiful Anaheim, California, just steps away from Disney. That's right, folks. I went all the way from Central Florida, living about half an hour from Disney, to Anaheim, California, 2,600 miles away, about a half hour from Disney. It was great. Because you know nothing more than somebody that lives near Disney wants to go and do is visit another Disney. It's
Disneyland, not Disney World.
It doesn't matter, man. It's still the rat. No, but it was great meeting those guys. Had a blast on my vacation. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around, coming back. That's going to do it for episode 23. If you'd like to join our live audience and hang out in the chat room, like Bim, Kaz, Tubbs, Yuki, Moo, who was on the show, so thanks for being in the chat room, too. And Castlebrick did tonight. Make sure to join us on twitch.tv/thegamecase each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Thank you for listening to episode 23 of The Game Case. You can find me on Twitter at Mullet863. You can find the show at The Game Case Show. You can download us on iTunes and Stitcher. Catch recordings of the live show or our tips, tricks, and kill videos at youtube.com/thegamecase, or find all of the things on the official site of The Game Case Show, thegamecase.com. Now, guys, my stream times are going to be switching up a little bit. I know Castlebrick, know you're a regular in my stream. Kaz, you're in and out all the time. Bim, Tub, Yuki, all you guys are absolutely wonderful and amazing. I'm probably going to start taking Friday and Saturday nights off from streaming games. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, a little bit secretive that I cannot, as of yet, talk about on Monday nights, but be looking out for some news about that. That's all I got. Thanks again, Moo. I appreciate you, my friend. Best of luck to the Battle-Rez Bears. Can't wait to see you. Oh, I got to ask, are you going to be at BlizzCon?
Unfortunately, I am not.
You're dead to me.
Well, I went up and now I'm back down.
Yeah, I know. We were friends and now it's... No, it happens. I know Ursangus will be there, so I will have one half of the Battle-Rez Bears in Anaheim.
I'll make it eventually.
There you go. Well, I look forward to listening to this show. Hopefully playing with you a little bit more. And as you alluded to, we have tanked together. Hope to do that again sometime in the future.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to do it for tonight. Game Case out. Logo.
Thank you for joining us this week inside The Game Case. Please join us next week for more news, tips, and ramblings about the World of Warcraft. Game Case out.
World of the Warcraft.